6:30. It's a Wednesday, and you know what that means? It's time for Serenity Night Live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And where we turn emotional spirals into structured segments. And I'm your host, Shama, proof that you can be loud and late to every coping strategy known to man. Tonight, we are going to dive into the world of loneliness. It's a complex relationship between yours truly and ADHD, and loneliness is a very complex relationship. And so we're going to unpack why, after such a long time, we feel, even in a room full of people, we feel like we're screaming into the void. So my guest is already here. I'm just waiting for her to request a join. Suki, if you can, request a join. I'm just going to say hi to Nadia. Hi, Kim. Kim, I haven't seen you for ages. Hi. Great to see you. And Suki, of course, you're here. I'm waiting for you to do your request to join. Please feel free to do that whenever you are ready. I will continue to... Oh, here we go. We got the request. Let me quickly put that in. I've accepted you. Have I accepted you? Let's have a look. It's going to go quiet for a little while we get Suki to join us. Suki, I have accepted your request, so whenever you're ready. Hi.
Hi, Sam.
How are you? How are you?
Very well. Thank you very much for having me. Nice to meet you.
Oh, welcome. Thank you for taking out the time to come and see us and talk to my community about loneliness, which is actually quite a subject which is quite touchy for a lot of us because we don't like to admit it, but even having ADHD is quite a lonely place for us as well, because we find it so difficult to articulate or at least try and show up for our people, and we get a lot of misunderstanding because of that. So I'm so glad that we're able to actually talk about this subject. Just before we get into our deep dive, I just want to quickly have a quick chat with all of my viewers. Accountability people, let me know what your connection-based goal is for this week. If you are lonely, reach out to your friends, reach out to your family, reach out to somebody. You don't have to be lonely, all right? Journal about your loneliness instead of ignoring it. Join one new virtual or one-person community, some sort of community that you can get yourself in. Let me know what you do in the comments because I'm going to hold you accountable for that, okay? Also, we're going to be doing some body doubling. Body doubling while me and Suki discuss the idea of loneliness and what that means for her and what that means for me. I want you guys to tell me what you're going to be doing while you're listening to us drone on about loneliness. So we're going to be both talking about that. You guys have got things to do. I also have another guest who wants to join us. Her name is... Oh, okay. That's fine, Nadia. If you can't join the video, please listen. Make sure you're getting some stuff done while you're at it. Okay, so... if you don't mind, Suki, I'd like to do a brief introduction to who you are. Let me know if I'm accurate, and if there's anything I need to change, please let me know. An integrative counsellor, author of There Is Light at the End of the Tunnel of Loneliness, and someone who has turned their personal pain into something more purposeful. The book deep dives into emotional isolation, the stigma of admitting how lonely you actually feel, and the quiet rebuilding of self-worth after so much disconnection. And I think for me, what makes her voice so powerful is not just her professional insight, but it's also your lived-in experience of what that was like, even in full rooms, being invisible, and the courage that you have displayed in writing your way out of this is absolutely phenomenal. So first thing, a lot of respect to you, Suki, for being so open and so honest in your book. Parts of it made me feel very emotional. I did say that to you on our WhatsApp, that, you know what, it made me feel very, very emotional. So that title again, There Is a Light at the End of the Tunnel. So my first question to you, Suki, is this. Oh, can I just quickly say before I say anything else, your message resonates very deeply with the ADHD community that I have. And so they also sent me a few questions, which I think I may have already sent over to you. So we're going to go straight into it, if that's okay. You ready?
Yeah, Tika. Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. My first question is this. You speak to loneliness as a wound, but is there a version of loneliness you've ever found comforting or even necessary?
there's a different version of loneliness beyond of a wound. It can be into emotional social. Emotional loneliness involves the lack of intimate relationship, while social loneliness of wider social connection, and it's a feeling of fundamental separate from others and the wider world.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
That's interesting. So my second question is, when you were writing your book, was there ever a moment you realized that you were more connected to your readers than you actually realize?
To be honest, when I wrote this book, and even when I did for over 10 years of research and my own personal experience as well, to be honest, it was a bit of both, I would say, connecting to people around me as well, and also the readers as well while I was writing the book as well, because the book is a self-help book and it's for every single person. So the connection actually was from my heart as well, obviously, when I wrote the book and my own personal experience as well, going through loneliness as well. And so yeah, it was a bit of both. I'll probably say both really. Connection with around those people, and also connection with the readers as well.
That's amazing. What would you? Okay, I know this is off the piss a little bit, but I just want to know, what have the readers said about the book so far?
Sorry.
What What have the readers said about the book so far?
Well, just like yourself, really emotional and really powerful. It really resonates with a lot of people, and also they actually can see themselves in it as well. They can feel it as well, and also it got most of the people I've actually the feedback's coming from it. That actually got them thinking about it as well, which they've never thought about it in a different way. Yeah, so a lot of a good positive from that as well. Yeah.
I'm really happy to hear that. I'm really, really happy about that. So, I mean, tell me more about what loneliness means. What's the lie that most people, sorry, this is my third question. What is the lie that people most often tell themselves about the loneliness? And what truth does that lie protect them from?
People lie to themselves about loneliness because they believe they are the only one experiencing it, avoiding the painful truth that many feels the same way. This lie protects them from facing the potential challenges, emotional toll of reaching out for connection and admitting that their feelings to others.
Okay, I've just had a question from a viewer, and I know this has come out of the blue, but are you able to define what loneliness is? This is from Nadia. Nadia wants to know, can you define loneliness? Is there a difference between being alone and loneliness? Is there a difference between the two from your
Um,
personal opinion?
to be honest, my own personal experience, I didn't really find the difference, to be honest. Lonely is loneliness, isn't it? Because when you're lonely, you only feel the starting part of the feeling lonely. But when you go into loneliness, you go into more deeper, isolating yourself, deeper, disconnecting from everybody around you as well. And then going deeper in your thoughts as well, overthinking as well, which I did as well. That's where my loneliness started from, overthinking. So I'll probably say define is like it depends on which challenge you're challenging in your life you are in that moment, and how lonely are you, what is going around you to experience that lonely. Are you going into lonely just for like a short phrase, or is it going to be a long term? Are you going into that spiral that you're going to deeper loneliness, which actually affects your mental health as well, not just your physical health? So I think it's all individually, to be honest. I hope that
Okay.
answered the
I hope that
question.
answers your question, Nadia. Please feel free to comment and like, or if there's anything else that you feel like you asked. We've got a professional here who is a professional social worker. You're a social worker, aren't you?
I'm an integrative counsellor.
Right. Sorry. Integrated counsellor. I get that all wrong all the time. I mean, I don't even know what's the difference between psychotherapy and psychiatry. I have no idea between those two. And here I am trying to be a life coach. Okay, so I've got some questions regarding the mental health and neurodivergence. Sometimes even my mind feels connected, like from an ADHD point of view, my mind often feels connected to everything and no one at the same time. So it's almost like this mimics some degree of intimacy, but I still feel isolated. How do you relate to this, and what does this actually mean?
Is that your question number four? Sorry, I
Yeah,
didn't know which
sorry.
question you number four. Yeah, so this feelings of being deeply connected to everything and profoundly isolated is a common experience, and out of 10 described can feel a sense of universal awareness, even empathy, alongside a deep sense of disconnect or loneliness. This experience can be a variety of factors, including a sensitive or a strong need of connection and a struggle in forming meaningful, intimate relationships.
Okay. So how do you relate to that?
To be honest, when I went through loneliness, I'm a people's person, and I'm always, I connect with people so easily. So when I went through my loneliness, it was just like I disconnected from. It was so unusual for me to disconnect from people around me, where I knew that I was gonna get the support they could support me as well in that time, but I actually disconnected them from everybody. I went so far deeply into my loneliness and isolated myself that I couldn't even though I wanted to reach out, people around me, I just couldn't.
And did people notice this loneliness and reach out to you on a personal level?
Well, to be honest, when I found like, that I mean, the time I went through loneliness, I had my children were to a young age. And they're really now they're adults now, but that time they're really young children. And then that's what actually made me think that, oh, well, who's going to look after these two children? They're small and they need you. So then that's when I actually reached out to my mum first. I told my mum, I confided into my mum. That's when that's when my mum actually supported me to get the support out there.
Yeah. Sometimes, we all need that one person that we know that we can reach out to and just let go, because we know that we're going to be supported. My mum sadly passed away 9 years ago, so unfortunately I lost that support. But I do have a beautiful cousin of mine who's always been with me. Like, we've been friends for almost 40 years now, so that's a good solid friendship. And shout out to Uzma, the parent coach. She's brilliant. I could honestly say she's probably been there through everything. So if it wasn't for her, I would probably feel more isolated and lonely. But she's that one person who accepts me for who I am and doesn't do funny, weird things to suggest that I'm being weird or anything. Like, she just accepts me. And because of her, I have not felt lonely ever, because I know that I've always got her. So it's brilliant that you had that support network. Do you still have that same support network now?
Yes, I've got a lovely. My family we're really close family. Family. My parents, my four siblings, and also my nephew, nieces, my sister-in-laws. Yeah, so even that time as well, even I knew that I had that support around me. I can connect with, my siblings or my parents, or, even my work colleagues, or in the community as well when I was doing the research. But it's just, you don't think, when you're going to go that deep into something, when you're going through that emotional trauma, something happens into your life, challenges happen through your journey of life. You wouldn't think that you would, especially like for myself, people's person, going out, independent, doing everything, connecting with people out there, and also studying counseling, volunteering too, works in mental health charity organisations. I volunteer as well, and in NHS as well. You wouldn't think, this person, would go through that sort of phase, but yeah, you do. Even like myself, the happiest people you wouldn't expect, they always, yeah, you wouldn't notice, would go through something like that. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, when mum passed away, I completely isolated myself, because I just felt as if everything that I knew no longer existed. Like, the world that I knew was no longer there, because that person was no longer there. And for me, so isolated, it took a bereavement counsellor for me to actually understand what the heck was going on in my brain. And even then, I didn't even know I had ADHD. So we've got a lovely comment from Nadia. I'm just going to say that sometimes you can be among people and feel lonely, and being alone and connected to myself and God. But what about disassociation or disconnecting from oneself? How can we connect myself while connected to others? Does that question make sense to you, Suki?
Um, Yeah, I think so. Yeah, this is where Hi Nadia, thank you very much for your beautiful message, and I hope you're well as well. But yeah, first of all, I'd like to, give my deepest condolences about your mum passing away, Shama. So, that really actually touched my heart as well. I do understand, and I'm glad you got the support that time as well. But yeah, back to the Nadia's question as well. This is where my book comes in, Nadia. If you feel that question, in my book is a self-help book. It's called the strategies and the top skills in there that you can actually use. They're all that everything that watch actually helped me support me manage my loneliness and combat my loneliness, and which I'm living a happy life now. I've actually given back all those skills and strategies and resources and the support out there, which actually helped me. So I'm giving back to the people who are actually feeling, like yourself or people around you as well, going through loneliness, or actually you feel that people are going to go through loneliness. That's where the book comes in, that which they can actually help find the answers and use the things I'm used and still using them for themselves as well, and live a happy life for themselves as well.
Yeah.
So
Excellent. Yeah, absolutely right, Nadia. I think we might have to read that book. I read it. I'll pass it over to you because I've got your email, and she can download it. And I'll show her the link where she can download it for anyway. And FYI, once we've got through all the questions, we are going to do a deep dive into some of the quotes that I picked up. And I want to talk to you about those quotes and what they mean to you. Okay, so I know it's not something that you thought of, but I was just like, you know what? This is such a fascinating subject for me, because I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Loneliness doesn't even just come with ADHD. It could happen at any time of your life. And I'll be honest with you, some of the men in our community probably feel the most loneliness as well. And because they're supposed to be so strong and so, manly and that, they don't know who they're supposed to reach out to. So just for the sake of, I mean, that's something I'm going to talk about later on, but just for the sake of this conversation, this part of the conversation, what would you say would be the best thing that our community can do in order to combat their own loneliness? Hi, Nat.
well, to be honest, yeah, to be honest, being an Asian like ourselves, being, and I actually from a really traditional family background, and so, like myself, we've all brought up, I think everybody in the Asian, South Asian community can resonate with what I'm going to say now. Um,
Nothing but
and like
good.
myself, like my family, like, something happens in our family. Oh, that's it. Keep it inside the door. Don't take it out there. Don't speak to anybody. It's all privacy. And that's what's actually been stored in ourselves from our grandparents, from our parents to parents, and from their parents as well. So it's all been going generation to generation. So it's all gone to us generation, and now we're actually going to give it to our kids. So it's all following. But what I will say though, has my own experience as well, and as I've learned as well, as I've gone more older and older and experienced and looking outside and hearing things and also studying psychology as well, I would say, there is no harm talking out there. It's no, we feel shame and we feel lost as well, and we feel that guilt as well. We feel that we're going to get judged as well.
Yeah.
Not everybody. I would say, to be honest, not everybody's the same. If we look at our 5 fingers, our fingers are not the same
Yeah.
size. So I always look at it that way. Everybody, human beings are not the same size. We look at, we all got brains, we got hands, and we all got the same, but what our thinking is all completely different.
Yeah.
We think and we do things differently. So I would just say, there's no shame if you're feeling lonely or you're feeling any problem around that challenge, you're going through your life. I will say, who's somebody that you can trust, that you can actually go and speak to without being judged, and just being heard and listened to, and get support from them. If they can guide you and refer you to somewhere, please do.
Yeah.
Regardless you're feeling okay, like myself, our parents said this, we're not allowed to speak outside, or this is going to happen, because we got a lot of fear. When we think about that as well, in our community, the fear as well stops us, pulls us back as well. Oh no, if we say this outside, what is my parents gonna say? What is my sister's gonna say? My brother's gonna say, or my missus gonna say, or my husband's gonna say, or my grandparents gonna say? It's a fear as well in us as well. But please don't
Yeah.
feel that way. Do you know what I mean? Don't feel that way. Time's changing. Time is changing, but we need to change with the time.
I agree
Just
with that wholeheartedly. So I'm going to put it out there. If you are feeling lonely or you need someone to talk to, I'm a life coach. I'm not a therapist, but I am a life coach. I don't have all the answers, but I have plenty of questions. And if you feel that you need somebody to talk to, Serenity Coaching is always here at your service. So just so you know, and it will be completely confidential. And I'm a very nice person, so I've been told. So there you have it. All right, let's get back to our questions. Sorry about that little tangent. It's just when
That's so funny.
Nadia's down messaged us support. She's wonderful. I love her so much. Fear of judgment and shame is probably one of the biggest things in our community, and it doesn't matter where you're from. And I think that's probably one of our biggest thing. Oh, she goes, yeah, she's a very good coach. I love her. Anyway, right, let's get back to our questions. So I think the fifth question we've got is, do you believe people with mental health or even ADHD struggle with more chronic loneliness, or is that just more intensely felt? That it's just a more intense feeling that everybody feels?
Isn't it inaccurate to say that either individuals with mental health conditions or ADHD experience loneliness? In a more extreme way, both groups are an increased risk of experiencing chronic loneliness and may
Yeah.
struggle with loneliness felt by others. The impact of mental health conditions or ADHD of loneliness can be multifactorial, including reducing capacity of social interaction as well, social withdrawal due to low mood, and difficulties in maintaining social connections. So I would just say it's inaccurate, I would say, with individuals going through with mental health conditions or with the ADHD. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm hearing that basically loneliness is indiscriminate. It doesn't discriminate against anybody. It could hit you at any time.
Anytime. Yeah. 100. Yeah.
And we just don't know what life is going to throw at us, isn't it? So, which I totally agree with. And my final question, the final main question I've got for you, Suki, I know I've been hounding you and for ages, but this is such a fascinating subject. I love it. How does emotional dysregulation distort our perception of rejection and deepen our feelings of abandonment?
Individuals may overreact to perceive slight, misinterrupt, neutral interactions as rejection and also
Yeah.
experiencing intense negative emotions, including anxiety,
Yeah.
anger, and sadness. And this can create a cycle of emotional distress and can further damage relationships. Sorry, did you hear that? Oh.
Yeah, I think Suki, I think your phone's going to start playing up. Maybe it's about time we just turned off the camera for a little while, and then we can put it back on again once we've finished. You know, because I want you to show your book as well. So for now, if
Yeah.
you don't mind switching
Yeah,
off the
I'm just gonna find the camera where we are.
yeah.
Yeah, it's warming up a bit as well.
Yeah, it's just
When we,
I don't want you to because we're having such a good flow. I don't want to be in a situation where we're going to miss out. Um, so
no, I think it's gonna be okay. Touch wood. I can't see the camera though, Shama, but it seems the phone looks a bit okay.
yeah, you look you're back, so that's good. Would you mind repeating that answer again, please?
Yes,
Hi,
definitely.
Singbai.
So
Hi, Sandra.
individuals may overreact to perceive slight misinterrupt neutral interaction, has rejections, and also experience intense negative emotions, including anxiety, anger, and sadness. And this can create a cycle of emotional distress and can further damage relationships in reforming feelings of instability and abandonment.
That's fascinating, isn't it? And what's really bizarre is that I'll be honest with you, when it comes to my ADHD, and if I feel any kind of emotional regulation, anything anyone says to me, I just see it totally negative. I see it as a rejection. And because I've got that emotional dysfunction as part of my trait, I also get that rejection sensitivity. I also get that injustice sensitivity as well. So for me, it's like I feel so lonely when I'm trying to figure this out because I feel that no one sees it the way I see it. And so sometimes it can be quite a lonely place. But luckily, like I said, I've got a great support network. So whatever I feel, it's not going to be judged, and it's not going to be in a situation where someone's looking at me funny, or why on earth is she feeling like this. They get it. So that's really, really important. I appreciate it. So when I was reading the book, Okay, I picked up on some quotes that really resonated with me, and I just wanted to kind of get a lowdown behind that, because obviously these are your words. So I just wanted to understand what that meant. So one of the things that you said was, after experiencing a deep pain of long-term loneliness, I learned to reach out to others. How difficult was that? Oh no, don't tell me she's leaving. Suki, are you still there? Oh no, because she did say her camera was playing up and her phone was playing up, and her phone tends to overheat. So I did say that I wanted to have her camera off just in case. Suki, are you with me? Oh, Suki left. Oh, her camera could not handle the intensity of my questioning people. That's what happened. What can I say? Yeah, we lost her. Maybe she'll come back in. But I just want to, I guess while she's not here, it's a shame, but I've got some quotes that I wanted to share with you, which really resonated with me. So after experiencing the deep pain of long-term loneliness, I learned to reach out to others. And I'm thinking to myself, that would have taken a lot of strength and a lot of guts to actually admit that you're lonely, because a lot of us don't, especially a lot of men in our South Asian community. They don't like to admit when they're lonely. And as I don't know whether you remember, when we spoke to, I was part of Gutcast when I was doing that podcast for Gutcast, and we talked about the South Asian community and how depression and ADHD and mental health is not often talked about for a reason. And so for somebody to say that they had to learn to reach out, that's huge for me, because how does one learn how to reach out to people? And where does that even come from? Where does the feeling come out where, okay, I've had enough? For me, it was seeing the pain in my children's eyes every time they saw me in pain was enough for me to say, no, enough is enough. I need to reach out to somebody. And so I reached out to a bereavement counsellor in order to see that. I'm just waving to Biggie, let's talk. Another quote: loneliness is an unpleasant emotional response and can be described as a social pain. Social pain. I've never heard of that phrase before, and I really wanted to ask her about that. And maybe one day we'll do a part 2 and I want to be asking her all these questions. But loneliness is an unpleasant emotional response that can be described as a social pain, which kind of resonated with me as well, because the social pain you feel is when for me, was to see everybody else in relationships with their parents, having a great relationship with their parents, having a great relationship with their friends and family. And I was just like, why don't I have that? Yeah, exactly, Nadia. Especially after divorcing a narcissistic ex-husband who isolates. Narcissism is an isolator. You're absolutely right. It does create an issue. And does that create social pain as well? Nadia, can you tell me, have you ever experienced social pain? What does that even feel like? For me, it suggests that, in a room full of people and you can see everybody happy, and that hurts, for a very, very long time after my mum passed away, I couldn't see things that were to do with, hi, Ifra, nice to see you. I can see you're going to be my regular. Love it. Thank you so much. For me, after mum passed away, that when I saw people with their mums having a great relationship with them, every time I saw something on TV that was to do with parenting, I burst into tears because I just couldn't handle it. So that for me was a huge, huge thing. So is that described as social pain? That horrible anxiety type feeling that you get, that tightness you get in your stomach when you're feeling, oh, Suki's back. Is your thing okay? Don't apologize. You're not to apologize for your technicality. That's okay. Are you back on? Are you able to join? Because I really need to know what social pain was all about. Let me know. I'm going to continue talking while we figure out what is going on. And don't worry, Suki, we are going to do a part 2. Personality can also be a cause of loneliness when you are the sort of person who likes your own company, but you eventually find yourself isolated more than you need to be. So for me, I like my own company, and I was very vocal about liking my own company. Yeah, please do try. Suki's trying to get back in again. Let's see whether we can do it, and we can go back to quotes because I'm just talking out of my brain here and I have no idea what's going on. So let's see if we can get her back on. Suki, please try. Get back on. Oh, here we go. Oh, see in your kitchen. Oh,
I feel like the camera's gone funny.
that's okay. Turn it face you.
But I'm not a very technical person, though,
That's,
to be honest.
that's okay.
Right,
We can see.
right. Let's try. Yeah, let's try the. Oh, okay. I'm not very technical. Oh,
No, it's fine because we can see the book in the picture anyway.
okay, brilliant. Thank you.
So that,
Sorry about that, guys. I do apologise.
don't worry. Listen, it's nothing like what happened with mine because I got kicked out of my own flipping Instagram, and Instagram lost my wonderful thing that I was having with the nutrition coach. I don't know whether you guys remember that. Absolute nightmare. Okay, so we've had a few comments since then. I was just talking about the quotes, and I'm going to come back to that in a second. But Jack's 5678. My god sister dated a narcissist. She was totally isolated from all of us. We tried telling her, but she was blinded by the love. The dude ended up being in prison. Mashallah, where he belongs. Yes, a narcissist do. Look, the bad narcissist. There are some good narcissists out there, by the way. You do know that, don't you? There's no such thing as not all narcissists are bad. I'm just saying. The dude was unhinged. Yeah, sounds about right. Nadia's commenting. She was trapped. She doesn't see, not love. I think these lot are having their own conversations. Right. I wanted to talk to you about social pain. Can you describe to me, because when I was talking about this with my with these people here, with my viewers, I was seeing it as a social pain. For example, when mum passed away and I saw family members with their parents and having great times with their mum and hugging them, and I saw some things on TV where parents are hugging their children, and that was a very deep, painful experience for me. Is that what you mean by social pain, Suki?
sorry. Yeah. So yeah, this is what I mean by social pain. Like, you get disconnected from even your loved ones, or even people in your community that you're friends with or connection with. That you have that deep connection, and when you're going through this with me, with me, so yeah, that connection. It just we don't actually connect ultimately. We want to be disconnected from people. It's just that loneliness, that
Yeah,
mental thought and feelings that we go through, emotional, spiral, that time, that challenge we go through,
yeah,
the different kinds of, negative emotions we go through, the feelings we go through. The mind just goes, into that deep disconnection. We don't even know ourselves that we're actually going through it until we really go into that dark place.
yeah. I had to see my children's faces to realize I was going into a dark place.
Yeah, exactly. When I was saying in the beginning, but when the phone went off, that's when I actually realised, that oh yeah, my children are still young at the moment. They need their mum, you know. Even they've got the grandparents there, the aunties, uncles there, but mum is mum, isn't it? When my ex-husband, their father, left us. Yeah, so that's when my eyes opened. Then that's when I started my research to find out, was it just me going through the loneliness, or is it something going outside the community? So yeah.
That's excellent. Thank you for that. Thank you for explaining what you meant by social pain, because I've heard of emotional pain. I've heard of the physical pain. I've never heard of social pain. So for me, thank you for clarifying that. Another quote that I really enjoyed, that really resonated with me, was personalities as well. And you wrote, personality can be the cause of loneliness when you are the sort of person who likes your own company, but you eventually find yourself isolated more than you need to be. Are you describing introverts?
Yeah, so like myself, I'm, coming back to myself, like even though, I'm sort of like a person to myself as well, to meet myself, my own company as well, but also in the community as well, people's person in the community as well, work in that community, independent person. So I also got that two connection, being myself as well, to myself, and also being in that community. But when I was in myself, I didn't even think that this independent person, the people's person, the community person, always talking as well, people around her, is going to go into this isolated, dark place in loneliness.
Wow. The reason why that resonated with me is because, I've always vocally said to everybody, "Oh, I love my own company. I love my own company," and that's the truth. I do love my own company because, I have been alone. I've been on my own for such a long time because, people thought I was weird. So I was on my own. During school, I was on my own. I didn't really have best friends, so to speak. I had lots of different, um, lots of different sort of groups that, so, depending on my mood. So if I felt like doing a little bit crazy, there was a crazy bunch of people. If I felt like being a little bit intellectual, there was an intellectual group of people. If I felt like, that I wanted to play a bit of sports, there was a sports lot. So I was friends with lots and lots of people, but I really not really connected with everybody. So for me, that seemed like it. But I was wondering whether for me that resonated more because I realized that I was isolating myself by saying that I love my own company. In other words, they would automatically assume, yeah, she's all right on her own. No, nobody would come up to me and ask me if I wanted to play. So I'm assuming that's what you meant as well, yeah? Am I right?
Exactly, yeah. Which I can actually resonate with that as well. Totally agree with you.
All my childhood traumas are going to come out on this podcast, man. Okay, so another quote you had: writing down your thoughts helps you to explain your events and your feelings to yourself and other people. It helps you get out of the fog of being overwhelmed. Can you just, in a few sentences, just explain what that actually means?
Um, I wrote that because I was talking about journaling. If not a lot of people know about journaling, writing is going to help me to understand how I'm feeling or what am I going through. But actually, I normally explain it and I look at it this way, it's like if you're going to going to a professional counselor, and when you're speaking to a professional counselor, you're actually speaking about your own journey. So that's your own journey. You're
Yeah.
pouring out to this person your own journey. So when it comes to journaling, it's actually, I always say it's a writing therapy. The reason I call it writing
Yep.
therapy because it's your
I
journey. You're writing about your own journey. So when I say that, when you write things down, even one word, that's fine, and you start writing your own journey, what's going for you that time, or going through, or you feel that something's going to happen, going forward. When you write things down, and you read it back, you actually feel that you understand it. You start to understand it. You get clear things, thinking about understanding your thoughts are all going to this brain. You can't see it. The brain's just going full up your brain, and it's going to explode. You're going to actually,
yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. I'll tell you now. I love that. It's the cheapest way of getting out. So for me, I get all my clients to journal because if you've got ADHD, you need to be journaling because we need that brain outlet because we always get voices in our head telling us whether or not, this is wrong, don't forget to do this, don't forget to do that, this is happening, you're this, you're rubbish, that. All of these things go on in our head at any one time. So for me to journal that out or get my clients to journal that out, it allows them to actually see everything in black and white and positively find solutions in that as well. You never know. You just never know. But write out your journeys. I've got lots and lots of clients that do that. So I wholeheartedly support that. Now, one of my favorite quotes, and this is something that I live for now. Now I live every day choosing to care for myself, my mental and physical health, and my emotional and psychological well-being. Suki, that quote
Exactly.
is very powerful.
Exactly. So yes, I always say, we come to this, we all live in a multicultural society, but our journey is our individual journeys. In our journey, in any time of our journey, it could be from the birth we're going through loneliness, we carry it into our adult life, throughout all our life. We can go through loneliness when in our teenagers, in our growing up in childhood, in our adult lives, even when you're going more elderly, we will go to a point in our life, a journey will come, a challenge will come where we're going to be feeling lonely. So yeah, so we only get one life. So, I would actually, really, really, would say, if you're feeling lonely anywhere or somebody around you are going through the same loneliness or isolation, please go and pick the book up. Please go. And also, when you be purchasing the book as well, you also be helping the mental health charities because all the money I'm raising from the book sale is going to the mental health charities,
Well,
which
that was
is
my
actually dear to my heart as well. Yeah.
excellent. I was about to ask. Okay, so Suki, I know that you said, they all go to a mental health charity. Let's get specific with this. Where can we get this book?
Yeah, so the book is all over the world, UK and across the India as well, because the book is actually in English as
Mhm.
well and also in
Amazing.
Punjabi. and it's on Amazon, and yeah, it's on Amazon on Kindle as well, and it's also on hard copy as well. So everybody can purchase it on Amazon. And when you do purchase it on Amazon, please kindly, guys, um, please kindly leave a review. The reason I say leave a review because it helps when another person like yourself comes to see the book. Everybody likes to read a review to see what's the other people's views and thoughts are when they read the book, and it gives them a bit more confidence to purchase the book for themselves, you know, when they're feeling lonely or they know somebody they're buying for. Kindly please details are inside the book as well. So anybody wants to reach out by my website's on there, my email address is on there, my personal contact number. So even you wanted to say hi, want to give me your own personal thoughts about the book, what you've read about the book, what your feelings about the book, please do give me a shout. Please.
Oh, I love that. I love the way that you selflessly just doing this for so many reasons. And you know, when you were talking about the mental, physical health and emotional, psychological well-being, you resonated with a lot of people. I got so many hearts and fires coming out of that. So thank you for sharing that. You also said that the proceeds go to a mental health charity. Which one?
Yeah, so at the moment it is for every single mental health charities in the UK, but the one I'm actually doing in Kent is where it's for Mind and Rethink as well in
Oh,
Kent. But mental health charities is across all the UK, so it will go to
okay. Perfect. That's brilliant. Okay. Also, I caught on to the bit where you said it's available in English. Why? Is it available in other? Is it available in other languages?
Yes, so it's in English on Kindle and hard copy as well, but also it's just come out on Amazon or it's in Punjabi as well. So all the Punjabi
Hey,
agents, Punjabi can actually purchase it in their language. People who don't know how to read English, they can also read it in Punjabi. Because when I wrote the book and also when I went through loneliness and when I did my research over 10 years, I did say when I first beginning to write the book, I did say the book is actually for every single person this book self-help book is for. So yeah, so it's in two languages. Uh,
brilliant. And
and the,
that's a
and,
huge
the,
well done.
and they're both on Amazon as well.
Excellent. Um. Okay. That's most of my questioning done. I've just got a few comments that I want to quickly say. Jax was saying I was outgoing and had a lot of friends in high school. I think HS means high school. However, once I saw what the true definition of a friends is, it changed me and I started to spend a lot more time alone and I wasn't used to that. It kind of changed when I got to college. You wouldn't believe that about me, Shama. LOL. And then there's something about the audio cutting in and out, but I think that was just an issue with the internet at the time. Unfortunately, the perils of having a live show is that the unexpected does indeed happen. So that's my deep dive with the great Suki Kaur, author of There Is a Light at the End of the Tunnel of Loneliness, available on Amazon. I will put the link in the show notes and I will also put Suki's Instagram in the show notes. Let me write that down because I'll forget. And Suki, I apologize to you. It is on my things to do. I need to do a review for your book. So I'm definitely going to do that if I haven't already. I just can't remember whether I have or not, but I'm going to check. And if I haven't, I'm going to do that. And I'm also going to do, if this isn't a heartfelt review for your book on Instagram, I do not know what else is. All right. Just so you know, I've reviewed your book. I think it's wonderful. I'm going to cut that and I'm going to paste it and I'm going to send it to you. Cool.
Yes. So But before we go, I just like to say, with your Adhd as well, yeah, for your permission. First of all, I'd like to say from my heart, I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity giving me your time and all the listeners' time for interviewing me about this self-help book as well, and having me on your program. It's been absolutely a privilege. I do apologise for the cut off with my phone. Do apologise. But I will say before I go, my last word was everybody who has listened to this live program, or even when they're listening wherever they are in the world. I just like to say my last quote is, I want this book to be a powerful beacon of hope, reminding you all that even in the darkest of times, there is always light. And with that, I just like to give my appreciation and thank you very much for your time and interview today. It's been absolutely honoured and privileged to be on your live, Sharma. Thank you very much for your very grateful.
Emotional. I just love it when I have such a good interaction with my guests, and I get so much interaction with my viewers. And I've been doing this now, I think this is my 12th episode, and it's been phenomenal. And every time I've got a guest, they've been amazing. And Suki, you are no exception. You have just been amazing. And I don't even care about the technological glitches. These things happen all the time. But the fact is, guess what? We're flexible. We do whatever it takes to keep ourselves on air. And even if it hadn't worked, I would have called you and I would have got you on the phone and we would have just conducted it that way. I don't care. Or I would have just done it myself. Either way, this show was going to happen, right? So the takeaway, people, loneliness isn't just a feeling. It's a state that rewires your nervous system, especially if you're a neurodivergent. What looks like disconnection might just be exhaustion from a performing connection. So just be kind to yourself. Be brave enough to reach out, even awkwardly. It doesn't matter. You can reach out to me awkwardly. I'm just as awkward. No one cares. Come and reach out to me. And remember, you're not too much. I'm not too much. We're just probably misfiled. So thank you, Suki. Thank you to everybody who took part. Jax, Nadia, One Boy, Coach Good, all of these people that came in. I think Biggie was here. We had Sing Vibes. We had so many people interacting with us. I absolutely loved it. Thank you so much, everybody. That Serenity Night Live. It was 6:30, but now I'm about to go and eat.
Thank
Take care.
you. Take care. Bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.